Rob, I'm too bad. My OCD is too bad. I'm an exception. I don't think I can ever recover. I've had so much help, so much treatment over the years. I've been stuck for 20 years. I really don't think that you'll be able to help me. Try me. I am really sure that you are not the exception. I am really sure I've seen cases like yourself. And you are probably not aware of how bad I was. I had severe chronic OCD for many years. Themes latched for years, 24/7. Compulsions with contamination OCD so bad in the early days, I used to shower for 6 hours a day, and I thought if I stopped it, something terrible would happen, and I couldn't get out the cycle. Now, I had sensory motor OCD, breathing, saliva OCD, breathing OCD, swallowing OCD locked on for years. Felt like 24/7, felt like I was being mentally tortured. Harm OCD, feeling guilty for years and years and years, every second thinking I was going to jail. Yeah, I know what it's like to have severe OCD. If you look at this channel, we're the largest resource in the world for OCD. If you look at our Facebook group, we're the most active Facebook group for OCD for many, many years. And well, not many years, it hasn't been around that long, but for the years we have been, we've produced, the community has produced a huge amount of content, and we're constantly answering questions about OCD in all different situations all day long, pretty much 24/7. The team is international. The team works around the clock 24 hours a day. We work with thousands of people every month. We're one of the largest, probably if not top 2 largest providers of OCD help in the world. Now, the chance that you've got something which I've never seen before, that is an exception. I've never seen it. Bear in mind, people are coming into me when they're having a panic attack, they've had deep brain stimulation, they've still not recovered, and they don't want to go on. People come into me when their family member has said they haven't left the house in 20 years, and they put them on the phone to me. People call me when their son hasn't spoken for 5 years because of a fear of speaking related to OCD, and the parent puts me on the phone to them. People call me when they've had chronic harm OCD for 25 years, never told anyone, and this is their first session. Whether you are starting out, whether you've been stuck for years, it doesn't matter. Whether you've got mild OCD, chronic, severe OCD, it doesn't matter. OCD is purely a fear cycle. A fear cycle that most don't understand and is tricky to get under. That's why. Even with understanding, unless it's explained in a way that the person can understand and embody, the person stays stuck. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're telling somebody with harm OCD, oh, you're just having harm thoughts, leave them be. Nothing much more than that. It's just harm thoughts that you're having. That's going to do very little. That's like taking a vitamin C tablet when you've got a serious disease and expecting it to get better. It ain't going to happen. So you've got to really think about how you're going to demonstrate to your brain why something isn't scary and why it doesn't warrant chronic anxiety forever. And it's the demonstration part that needs to be done, not just through exposures, not always exposures, but through breaking down those catastrophized beliefs that are keeping that cycle of chronic anxiety and guilt going 24/7. I had it on 24/7, that anxiety. I used to wake up in the night multiple times. It was like my sleep was like a machine gun, waking up. And you know, that journey, when you go through that, you feel like you're a prisoner. You feel like you're a prisoner to OCD, and you can't even remember experiencing freedom for years. I didn't even know what it felt like to feel at peace for so many years. The day that I got over one fear, I lay in the bath and I was like, fucking hell, I'm at peace again. I haven't felt this for like 7 years, right? And I literally went to the Natural History Museum in London, which wasn't far from my house. And I walked there and I walked around it and I was like, I feel unreal. To be really descriptive, I was like, this is fucking unreal. I feel like I want to almost cry. I can't believe it. It feels like being reborn. Like, it felt like that because I'd been so stuck as a prisoner. It was like being released from jail where you'd been in solitary confinement for years. And the whole world didn't even realize that you had been, like friends, family or anything, because they didn't understand how it operated. So they were like, you're a bit overreacting, mate. And I was like, you don't know. This experience is a very individual experience, because even if you're in an OCD community, only you know what you've been stuck with and for how long, and you know what that feels like. And so it's very, very freeing. And that's what it felt like. And then I realized, like, so many people coast with OCD. They're like, yeah, I'm good enough, Rob, but are you? Are you waking up energetic? Are you feeling plugged into life? Are you calm? People have got used to suffering that they think it's all right. It's like if you work in a crap job for years, you're like, I suppose it's all right. And then you get an amazing job and you think, fuck, what was I doing? Or you see a picture of yourself from an angle when you don't think you're in good shape. You've got out of shape over years. And then you think, shit, how did I look like that? Because you get used to bad. You get used to bad. And so you've got to get yourself seeing new and seeing good. It's like anything. It's like if you date someone and it's a bit shit, the relationship, then you meet someone great. Feels great, doesn't it? And you love it. And then you think, God, I always want a relationship like that. And I can't believe I put up with them for so long. You see that. You see relationships where people get horribly treated and they still like, yeah, I suppose it's not so bad. He's nice to me. He does or whatever. And then you think, fuck, that's really not good. And that's the same with OCD. You get used to bad and you can have better than that. You can have life. You can have a great life. You can have an incredible, incredible life with OCD. You can recover from it. I'm an example of that. And I can tell you that if I was stuck with chronic severe OCD, my whole back would be locked up. Talking to you, I'd be sort of glazed out, not even wanting to really communicate. I'd have probably put off making this video because I'd have thought there's something else to do because I can't be bothered, and the energy to do it, the OCD is going to attack me whilst doing it. So then it's going to make me heavily fatigued after a few minutes, and I'm just going to want to turn it off. And then I'm going to be preoccupied with how I look, and if everyone can see that I look horrendous because of the level of anxiety. That's what it feels like. You feel like entombed in your mind. You feel locked off behind like a misted sheet of glass where you're like looking out to the world and the world's looking at you, but you're like kind of stuck behind something. Because that's what OCD is doing. It's got this like locking mechanisms that's locking in your head and holding you back. And recovery is about being free. Recovery is about getting your life back. Recovery is about putting in work to make those changes so that that locking breaks down. And that's what we're here to do, and that's what we're going to help you do. If you click the WhatsApp link below, you can message us and we'll speak to you today and get you booked in and work through the journey with you so that you can see there's no need to be chronically stuck in 2024, but it's going to take practice. It's not going to just be thoughts are thoughts, leave them be, a couple of exposures, bye. It doesn't work like that. You've got to be realistic, and there's 3,200 or something videos on this channel, and in those videos over the years, we've gone through giving you the sort of basic explanation and some of the more tricky and the nuanced and complex sides of OCD. But in the one-to-one sessions, we go into the full look of what's happening with you specifically, and it's customized to you. Because if I do a video that's all about chronic severe harm OCD, I could cover it in depth or write a book on it in depth, and you'll think, wow, that's really interesting, those points, I hadn't thought of those before. But until I go into your specific situation and look at exactly what you're stuck with, I'm not going to get that release, right? Because you've got to look at how it's locking. Is it to do with your view of how you see yourself? Is it to do with going to prison forever? And even in those elements, there's so many subtle nuances of how it's locking. What's your perception of being in prison? Is it your family rejecting you in prison? Is it you being hurt in prison? What is it specifically? And then looking at those nuances and making shifts there so we get you back to a baseline state of peace. And that's key. That's the goal. That's what we're working to do. And it takes persistence, practice, and time. Persistence, practice, and time. And I can't emphasize that enough, because otherwise you tend to come into it with this attitude of, if I just hear these magic words, then I'll be better. Forget it. Forget it. I spent years reading shitty ebooks and things I found online that were like, how to recover in 7 days. Oh, take this, like if you watch popular podcasts. They're like, oh yeah, you just got to take this and drink this and go on a meat diet or whatever. Forget it. If you've got chronic severe OCD, it's resilient. You wouldn't go to the doctor and they'd be like, oh yeah, you got this disease. Yeah, just eat these berries and it's gone. I know people say that, but in reality, you don't see people handing out berries in hospital beds, right? As the main treatment. So we've got to look at what's going on. Look at exactly what's happening in that cycle, that self-defeating chronic cycle, and change that. And once it's changed, we then bring back the baseline inner peace, which you had once before. It isn't gone. The old you isn't gone. You are there, but you're just very locked up in OCD right now.